These are reckless times, Clay. We are all doing impulsive things that we would never do otherwise.
I know.
I don't think you do.
I like it here. So do I.
It's unanimous.
Good. I know what unanimous means, even if I can't pronounce it too good.
It's the Al Travis Show. We're lucky to have our next guest on. He is Senator Jeff Howe. We call him Colonel DOGE. Senator, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, terrific. Life is good. You know, blood pressure was good this morning. It's going to be a great day.
As long as you got blood pressure, life is still going. All right, we start with our quick question. If you could have seen one event in history, what would it have been?
I think I would have liked to have been there when the Berlin Wall came down.
See, you're a history guy. I think I use this, and some friends thought I was maybe over the top. I would want to have been in the Enola Gay before they dropped the first atomic bomb. And my thought being is I'd love to hear what those two pilots were saying as they're flying over there, knowing they're going to drop a bomb that's never been dropped before, going to change the history of the world, going to change the way we do business from here on out. I can't imagine what those two people were thinking. Plus, they didn't know if that was going to be a chain reaction and blow up the whole flipping world. I would have been interested to hear those two as they flew.
I think those two guys were just trying to get the heck out of there because I think they thought they were going to be part of that whole
toasted.
explosion.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That's my point. And I know that's a little weird, but to me, there are times in history to find out what those people were thinking. If you want to go biblical, I would have loved to have been there when they split the Red Sea. Moses split the Red Sea. He's like, right. Al, you go first. What?
Yeah.
Really?
That's huge right there. Right all out.
Sorry, people think I make fun of their religion. No, there's just some things I'd be just amazed to just be a part of.
Oh, being in the boat when Jesus walked on the water.
There you go.
There's just countless things.
Yeah.
You could, going back to what George Washington was thinking when he crossed the Delaware to attack it just goes on and on. There's just,
but that's kind of for history guys like you and I. I bet you the other folks, well, I'll keep asking people. We'll find out what their answers are. Thank you for playing our game. This is the big news story today. It's a ho-hum, and we'll talk about the trial in a minute, which I think is the big story today. But the news story is the FBI, a bunch of federal law enforcement agencies, went out and dropped a bunch of search warrants, search warrant affidavits, that sort of thing, on like 8 different businesses. It's all about this massive scheme to defraud Minnesota's housing stabilization services program, which was new in 2020. This is what kills me, sir. In 2020, we thought we needed to stabilize housing. Of course, we're talking the COVID deal. $2.6 million set aside for this program. 2.6, keep that in mind. This year, it's over $100 million. How do you not think there's fraud? If you thought $2 million covered your nut, and now we're at $100 million, somebody needed to see this much earlier on.
What is our administration folks doing? I mean, there's got to be, and it goes back to what we were trying to do, get state employees the ability and the requirement to report suspected fraud. And we've been resisted on that at every turn. And to me, and give them part of the pie if that's what you want to do. I mean, I tried to get that done, is that you get 10% of the cut if you save us a bunch of money.
I'd be all for it.
It fell on deaf ears. I mean, and the thing is these are the feds coming in because they see something from D.C. Can you imagine that? I mean, why aren't we able to do that right here? What is our attorney general doing? He's
completely agree.
He's going after farmers. He's going after veterans organizations. Go after these guys for crying out loud. That's frustrating, isn't it? I mean, it's more and more.
And it isn't even, how do I say it? We make it so easy to defraud us. Evidently, like 22 providers had the same address. Hello, name the building where everybody does the exact same job in the exact same building. And somebody at Department of Human Services, go check.
just borrowing a desk, for crying out loud, filling out the
Yeah.
paperwork. It doesn't take me a lot of space. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't, but it's just that. And then at the same time, I'll just wrap this up. The governor was out talking on television yesterday. He's upset because the changes to Medicaid that the Trump's big, beautiful bill will make, he's upset because it's going to cost us a lot of money to make sure that people are following the rules to get it. Well, the other option is to hand it to people and just say, you want it, you got it. Of course it's going to cost.
That's because they create their own dynamics, right? Because the more people we got on it, the more need there is, right?
Yeah.
So we got to continue to put money into that program instead of saying we're having success while we get people off of that program and stabilized and on their own. We see it as success because we got all these people getting the resources.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're defrauding us for those resources. Let's take care of the people that need the help and stop feeding the fraudsters, and we just can't stop.
Well, what's wild to me, sir, is, best practices. We talked about this when they were redoing license plate stuff, and we had the whole license plate debacle thing going on. South Dakota, you can pick them up like an ATM machine, and they pop out, and you can have them. Minnesota's too complicated. Why is it Minnesota has this fraud problem in almost every system we put out? You're not hearing about it in South Dakota. You're not hearing about it in North Dakota. Why is Minnesota such a glutton for robbery and for theft?
Oh, because we're charitable. And I tell you what, we're showing it.
Yeah, yes, we are.
And the thing is, and I truly believe that this is another place where government probably shouldn't be. We should be taking care of what we should do and let the charities out there, and we shouldn't be funding those charities. We should be funding those charities by incentivizing you and I and everyone else to give to their churches, to give to these programs. And that way I get a deduction off my taxes. I feel good because I am helping someone instead of the government taking it out of your back pocket, the taxpayers that back pocket, and we get to decide where it goes. And we're doing good because we're taking your money and doing it. That's the problem with government. We shouldn't be in the business. Charity should be a personal deal, and we should be wanting to take care of these people that need our help. And that's the difference between, and it's biblical, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this, sir. How do you believe the governor's going to run for his governor seat again? Third terms are hard enough, and this is just one of what I guess I had a list at one time. This has got to be about the 5th, 6th, 7th major fraud going on under his watch. It just doesn't seem to bother him in the least.
I believe that he's going to look at what happened to Tim Pawlenty.
Yep.
When Tim Pawlenty thought about that third term, which is tough, you're absolutely right, Al. But I think the other issue is if he doesn't run, he becomes irrelevant to run for president because it happened to Pawlenty, right?
Gotcha.
He took those 2 years off. He wasn't in the game anymore. He didn't have any publicity. And he was a has-been, and that's what will happen to Walz. Walz should have ran last time. I think he's gone. I don't think he can do it.
On that same line, then he has to win, right? If Walz were to lose the vice president, lose the governorship, he's not going back in for president. It'll be all in then. Every dime he can raise, everything he can do, because he would have no option to lose, right? He'd be over then.
Exactly. And in my deal, I don't think the waters are not going to be kind to Tim Walz, no matter which way he goes.
Fair enough.
We'll leave it at that.
We got to go to break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the 2 trials that are going on. We'll talk about that with Senator Jeff Howe right after this.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
There are many ways to explore Alexandria. Some like to experience the outdoors and all the fun winter in Minnesota can provide. Pick your favorite way to get in touch with nature. Others like to explore downtown in the warm comfort of a boutique or gathered around a table with friends. You can do all of that or relax and do nothing at all. Come explore Alexandria. Start planning at explorealex.com.
It's nice to know a guy that knows a guy. Al Travis.
We've got him, Senator Jeff Howe. Senator, maybe something that works for the governor's favor is these other news stories that are just taking things like this last fraud thing off the front of the page. This Vance Belzer, the guy who took the shots allegedly at a Hortman family and the Hoffmans, has pled not guilty. Now, I get it's a lawyer thing, but they got him. He's got the little manifesto thing in there saying he shot the people and why he did the shooting the thing. I'm just tired of this guy getting any more notoriety. He evidently has been talking with the New York Post or something, and they're posting all his rantings. This is going to be in the news for a long time. Thoughts on Belzer?
He needs to go away. I mean, he what is he saying? He didn't write that letter to.
It's just a lawyer thing. You got to go, and he's pleading no innocence, so now you can have a trial. He just wants the publicity.
Yeah, the guys like this they did it for publicity. They're going to continue to do it for publicity. We shouldn't give him anything. We should say we just call him the shooter and don't use his name.
I like that.
We just can't help ourselves, and the media thinks that they're exempt from responsibility on that. That's exactly why we'll get copycats. Some guy says, "See the notoriety he's getting. See the press. I could be that guy." Yeah,
but and again, sticking up for the press a little bit, like they posted his letter yesterday in the Star Trib. I think they almost have to, but then you can drop it at that. Don't buy the paper. Don't share it. Don't do that. But let's talk the other one, which is really. I don't know, disturbing might be the problem I'm having with this. The Senator Mitchell trial. We've been trying to be very fair here. She swears that when you get her side of the story, this is going to flip everything. You'll understand and everything will be good. We got the opening statements. She's going with a welfare check, according to her lawyer. Now we've got all the prosecution stuff come out, the videotapes. I don't know where this turns, sir. I'm sorry. I felt sorry for this lady with Alzheimer's having to take the stand, and they kind of grilled her about kids' birthdays and crap. I'm sorry. This doesn't look good.
I will tell you that this is the oldest, as far as I'm concerned, the oldest defense attorney's playbook is you attack the victim.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. They're going to run this poor lady that's suffering with a disease that is unrelenting. And, whether this was a year and a half ago, she might have been a little sharper. She definitely isn't as sharp as she was back then.
Yeah.
And to me, they put poor Carol Mitchell on trials, what they've done. And that to me, I think, but I still believe that the defense has a tall task because they're going to go after the heartstrings of these jurors. And to me, the real fact of the matter is when the jury gets it, it's going to be, did she go in there without being invited?
Yeah.
Did she break in? And was she there to take something? And I think her statements, they got a tall order to justify her statements to
the police
on body cam saying I was there to get some of my father's things.
Yep.
Now, regardless of how that sounds, I'm just saying, if this defense attorney can get her off in one of the most public displays of a trial that we've had here in Minnesota, he's going to be well taken care of because he can pick and choose his stuff.
So
I think I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think he's got his work cut out for him, and he's doing the best he can at Carol Mitchell's the stepmother's expense.
Yeah. See, and again, we try very hard. She has this right to this day in court, but if this comes out as it surely seems currently, dressed all in black, the black hat, she's talking to the cops saying, "I'm not very good at this, am I? What's in the bag? My couple of computers." And if this goes the way this is going, the harm that this woman has done as a state senator to the Senate itself, the body, and then to her family, to put them through this for the last 2 years. What is this, the third trial set up because, now we're in session, can't do that? This has been a debacle. If there isn't something that comes out in the next couple of days that just turns everything around.
Well, they've got, I don't know who they're going to have. They've got no one that was there, no one so far that she talked to confide in before this happened that I can tell so far, listening to the testimony of the aunt, her dad's sister. I don't know where they've got, I guess a bunch more folks to go through, and they're trying to establish her character. I won't say my opinion, but
and again,
this is going to be tough for this defense attorney. That's all I can say.
Okay. And let's do this with the last 90 seconds. What happens one way or the other? This defense attorney pulls out all the stops and he gets his thing done. Can she win in re-election in 2026? I think there's some stuff baked in here that says you might have got off if you got off, but this is, unless, again, it's got to be something huge. I'm sorry. You put on a cat burglar suit and you snuck into your mother's basement. That's not really becoming of a senator. My point is, could she win it in 26 if she gets off of this thing?
I believe that people are going to say you have lack of judgment and you shouldn't be making decisions for the state of Minnesota. I think that's what the voters would say if she could even get endorsed again.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Could she go through the process? And then on the other hand, if she is found guilty, how quickly do we get another election signed up? If they're going to do a special session, they're going to want to have that seat in the Democratic hands beforehand. And I presume you Republicans will go after it like nobody's business to flip that seat over. Especially in a special election, we will. Because specials, anything can happen.
because a lot of times people just don't show up on a special. It's a different deal. If we got a few more seconds to take a sidestep from that,
sure.
If you know a soldier, please wrap your arms around them, say thank you, ask them how they're doing, truly connect with them, because we've had a couple of traumatic events where we lost a couple of individuals through suicide. We continue to lose soldiers. We need to stop the bleeding, and now you mentioned mosquitoes a little bit ago. I just got
that's on me.
But please, it's been a tough week for the National Guard, and so please reach out to them and really truly look in a soldier's eyes and make sure they're all right.
We can all make a difference, and if you're a soldier and you're feeling any of that way, listening to this program, 988. Dial or text 988. Senator Jeff Howe on the Al Travis Report. Back after this.